Selamat Hari Raya kepada saudara.
Baru Ramadan lah.
Ayo, sorry. I got excited and carried away for Raya lah. So Ramadan is the 9th and most sacred holiest month of the Muslim lunar calendar. It is believed that Quran was first revealed to Prophet Muhammad during the month of Ramadan on the night of Laylatul Qadr. Laylatul Qadr, also known as the Night of Power, is the holiest night of Ramadan. So the exact date of the night is unspecified, but Muslims believe that it may have happened on one of the last 10 days of Ramadan. So what they will do on those days is offer extra prayers and continue reciting the Quran. Okay, so there are 5 pillars that encapsulates the core beliefs and practices of Islam. Shahada, the declaration of faith that there is no God but God and Muhammad is the messenger of God, is central to Islam. Salat, so this refers to the 5 daily prayers, Fajr, Zuhur, Asar, Maghrib and Isha. Saum, fasting. All healthy and able Muslims are required to fast every day from dawn to sunset during the month of Ramadan. Zakat. So zakat directly translates to cleanse and refers to the act of charity. So in accordance with the Islamic law, Muslims would typically donate a fixed portion of their income to community members in need. Hajj. So this refers to the pilgrimage to Mecca. If their health and wealth permits, Muslims must make at least one trip to the holy city of Mecca where the Kaaba is located. Muslims believe Kaaba is the house Ibrahim built for God and it is the direction they face every time they pray. Itulah kiblat. So now you guys know that fasting is actually one of the 5 pillars of Islam. But actually, right, there's a lot more to fasting during Ramadan than just abstaining from eating and drinking. This month, right, is meant to be like a time for Muslims to hit pause, realign and get closer to God. Muslims would typically take the month to focus on spiritual disciplines and like cleanse. So that means there will be an increased sense of generosity, gratitude and charity. So fasting is supposed to help remind you what it actually feels like to be hungry and thirsty in the hopes that it will help you to be more compassionate and helpful to those who are less fortunate. Okay, so there are several do's and don'ts during Ramadan. Number 1, Muslims are supposed to keep their thoughts in check during this holy month. I mean, kita humans ni senang juga lah kan, marah lah, swearing lah, complain lah, gossip lah, biasalah tu. Tapi during Ramadan, you're encouraged to make an active effort to curb negative thoughts. So you're less distracted, calmer and can focus on strengthening your relationship with God. Okay, so food and drinks aren't the only restrictions during fasting. Puasa can also batal if you smoke, vape or engage in sexual activities. Chewing gum also cannot, makan ubat also cannot, even if you telan without water. But the telan air liur is okay lah. And if you're on your period, you also don't fast, your puasa will batal. Or let's say you're fasting, then suddenly halfway through the day you get your period, puasa also considered batal. So kalau terbatal means you gotta start over the next day lah. And for all the days that you miss, right, you can ganti after Ramadan ends and before the next year's Ramadan starts. No lah, not like that. Memang ada special exemptions for, you know, the elderly, the sick, pregnant or nursing mothers and young children. So most people who can and are able to will of course cuba to fast throughout the month or as many days as possible lah. And if they really can't and they miss some days, then they have to ganti lah. So a typical day starts with sahur, where people wake up before dawn and maybe eat a light meal and hydrate before fasting starts. Lepas tu sembahyang subuh and then people just kind of go about their day macam biasa lah. So work, school, you know, whatever daily activities, chores you have to have, they'll just, you know, go on with it as always. And when the call to pray is made during sunset, Muslims would typically break their fast with a light meal before performing the evening prayers and then going for Tarawih. So Tarawih is a special prayer that is only recited during Ramadan. Lepas tu baru some people will eat like a, heavier, more substantial meal. So I asked my friends lah,
why lah? Aren't you like hungry? End of the day, don't you just want to like lahap everything?
So they said mainly it's because one, it's like a bit of a shock for the tummy, when you put like, such heavy meal after like not eating or drinking anything for like 13 to 15 hours. It's also because sembahyang for Muslims involves, some bending over, sujud and all that. So imagine doing that on a super full stomach. So diorang kata macam, it's a bit uncomfortable lah. But all that said, this is not like a sad thing lah. Most people would just, kind of do what works for the best. So that's how most days are during the month of Ramadan for Muslims. A lot of patience, prayers, gratitude, discipline and quality time with loved ones, of course.
Hey, during Ramadan, can I eat in front of my Muslim, friends or colleagues or family? Yeah? Oh my God, what if I terajak them makan? How? Can I cuba fast also? Macam menarik lah.
So in Malaysia, it's totally fine for non-Muslims to eat and drink as usual in public during the month of Ramadan. Most Muslims I know and live around, right, have no problem with us drinking and eating around them. They don't even think about it. They just kind of go about their day. They can sit beside you and they wouldn't say anything. But of course, it never hurts to be a bit more conscious and respectful of the month and its significance to our Muslim colleagues, friends and family. So some things to consider, would be maybe like not having like lunch meetings or, sudden like activities that could drag into like fasting time or prayer time. These kind of things are like basically second nature already to like most of us, living in like a multicultural, religious, multi-faith society, and like it's not even like an inconvenience because at the end of the day, like we assume that we would just extend the same kindness and consideration to each other. Oh, and yes, some non-Muslims do fast in solidarity or just out of curiosity, and I checked with my Muslim friends and they said it is okay. TLDR, always be respectful of one another and embrace the beauty in diversity. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Selamat berpuasa and berbuka puasa!